So it's a very, very warm and hot day today, and I'm stuck indoors, and it's just too warm to be putting a shirt and dicky bow tie on today, so you'll have to forgive me for not having one on while I do this art journal page. But the urge to create has overcome the urge to sit outside in the sunshine. So I'm going to have a play in my Dina Wakley multi-surface journal today. And for inspiration, I was recently sent this book in Happy Mail by Bet Jacob, and it says Gems from Ruskin, the birthday book. Now, it's obviously a book of dates, and it goes right the way through the year, 365 days. So I've just turned to today's date and just have a look to see what it says. And it says, necessity of restraint, remember, is just as honourable to man as the necessity of labour. So, necessity of restraint. So that kind of speaks to me. So when I think of restraint as far as art journaling is concerned, it's about not doing too much, not overworking a page. So we're talking a minimal page with not a lot, plenty of kind of white space, and maybe just one or two little pieces and bits and bobs on that page. So I'm going to attempt a restraint page by not putting a lot down on the page. Whether the urge to just throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at it, whether that happens, whether I just can't stop myself, well, that's just the way that the creative cookie crumbles. But if that's what's on the cards, then, sometimes art journal pages do create themselves. They take on a life of their own, and they do what they will. And you're just the facilitator that's pushing that colour around on the page. So I've got a few bits and pieces around me. I've broken out my Neocolour 2s that I haven't had out for a long time. I've got a couple of bits of paper. Again, a couple of pieces that were sent to me in Happy Mail a while ago. So just a script sheet of paper and a piece of paper that's just got some florally patterns on it. I also had kicking around, obviously it'd fallen out of my box, of Tim Holtzy sayings, and I just never got around to putting it away. So this is still out, so I'm going to use that as well. And then my final kind of like focal point is a piece of ephemera from one of the sets from my friend Linda Simpson. This is from Le Beau Oiseau, the beautiful bird, which is available on her website either as a digi download. I think she's still got some of the physical cards that you can actually buy as well. So this is one of the set from that. And that's it. Oh, and I've got some wet wipes. Some little wet wipes. And that's all I'm going to use. So I'm going to switch over to my overhead camera and then we'll get cracking. So before I do anything, I've just got a little pot of water here, and I'm going to add some clear gesso onto the page. Now this is just so that when I add my Neocolours onto the page, there's something there that's going to help them move. If you don't put gesso on your page and you use your Neocolours, the colour from, or the pigment from the Neocolours will bed into your page straight away. It'll grab straight in and it will leave a kind of line which doesn't necessarily look any good. But unless that's what you're actually going for, is actually having those lines on your page. But I don't particularly like them when I want to blend the Neocolours on the page. Now, sometimes when you don't get as much gesso on, you'll get some grabby bits from your Neocolours. Now you can do the same thing with Dina's scribble sticks, and probably the same thing with Tim Holtz's distress crayons. Other brands are available of stuff, stick kind of colours, pigments. I'm sure that Winsor & Newton, Dale Arowney, they do their own kind of water soluble crayon that you can also do this project or this similar sort of thing with. Use what you have, use what you want. Okay, so I just need to get that dry, which won't take long today because it's rotten warm, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so the gesso is now dry. Before I add any of that Neocolour pigment onto the page, I think I'm going to tear up some of these sheets into just small bits, and I'm just going to throw one or two around the page. Now remember, the key word for this is restraint, so I don't want to do too much, so I'm just going to do 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, visual triangle around the page just helps to move your eye around. And then we've got another one like that, and yeah, I'll just leave that one as is, and then one more piece. Why not? Let's stick that up there towards the end. Actually, I quite like that looking like that, so bring that down like that. I'm just going to have those 3 kind of clusters of this paper there. So I'm going to grab some matte medium. This is from Indigo Blue. It's their matte slap it on, as they're called, because that's what you're supposed to do with it, just slap it on. So I'm just going to hopefully... Don't! Do you know, I knew that was going to happen. Now there's one for the bloopers. Right, I'm going to leave that in, as in I'm going to leave that as a blooper in the video, because that's what happens sometimes. And we'll just have to scrape it off as best we can. God blimey. Get in. Right, I think that should do it. That should do it. Where's me? Get myself a wet wipe. Talk about comedy moments. And how many of you have sat there when that happened and said, yeah, been there, done that? Probably all of us. Right, okay, let's get some of that matte medium moving around. Now, of course, stick it right up to the edge of the paper. I might have to go back over with the gesso again now, because there's so much of this matte medium on the page now. Probably have to put another coat of gesso on, but that's okay, because this matte medium obviously has just gone over that gesso. So that was a bit of a waste of time, but you know, forewarned and all that. I didn't know that matte medium was going to do that. So this is what happens when you do a quick kind of improv page that you weren't really planning on, or you have no plan for. All I know is that I want to use these bits and pieces. Hello little fairy 4-pod children, or child I should say. Mr. Bentley's just come up to see me. It's obviously too warm from sitting outside because it's very, very hot today. It's lovely, and I would like to be out there, but I also need to be in here. Okay, let's see if we can scrape some of that back in. Waste not, want not, and all that. There we go. So haven't really wasted much at all. But I must make sure I've got that cleared properly, because that nozzle got clogged up. Right, let's get this dry. Okay, I've brought the gesso back again, so I'm just going to quickly run back over once more. Just so we've got a nice kind of even coating, just so that that matte medium's gone. that's it, that will do. Right, drop that back into some water, and then I'll get this dried off real quick in a flash. 1, 2, 3, and we're dry. There you go. Haha, the magic of TV. Okay, so new colours, and I also want a couple of wet wipes, because that's how we're going to apply the colour on, or that's how we're going to blend the colour on the page. So I want yellow ochre. So this says dark gold, and that's a metallic one, so I don't want that. I don't want metallic. Okay, so this is ochre, so that's perfect. So I'm going to add some ochre around the page. Including over some of the paper. So wet wipe. I'm just going to activate that colour. Remember, the watchword for today is restraint. Mr. Bentley's backing at something outside. And of course, if you want it darker in areas, add more. Just like that. And we can mottle it to make it look like aged plaster if you want. There we go, like that. So that needs to dry. So while that's drying, I'm going to bring in this birdie image, and I'm going to rip it, tear it, tear it, tear it. I'm trying to tear it with my right hand so that when I pull down, it's going to leave that white kind of split back into it. I'm right-handed, so it works for me. If you're left-handed, then you do it that way. And then try and just get rid of those straight lines, that straight line at the bottom. Just carefully tear around the birdie's tail, and then we should have it. There we go. Like that. Just like that. Okay, so knowing the problems I've had with that matte medium, I'm going to grab a smaller brush and get some of the matte medium from the bottle. And then I can just quickly go around the back. Yep, the neo colours are reactivating with the colour, that's fine. Right, get some more. Go over the top. Perfect. Okay, let's get that dry quick. Okay, so that's now dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit more of that ochre, and I'm just going to go over the edges a little bit. We go over a little bit darker again. Just take the same baby wipe and then just reactivate it just for a bit more depth. bring that colour into it, just to help blend it out a little bit. Just flicks of the wrist, little flicks of the wrist. Cool. Okay, so again, dry it off, which won't take long. That's all nice and dry now, but I want to add some more of that scripty stuff down here. I just think it needs, well, I know it needs it there. My mind is telling me that's exactly where it needs to be. So I'm going to add some more of that on, just using that matte medium again. I'm just going to add a quick coating of it here, and then just quickly on the back. Come on. And then put it about there. That's more like it. A little bit more from the bottle. That should do it. That should do it. And then quickly dry it off. That should do. Okay, so grab the ochre again. And then just give it a bit of a rub just to blend it in with the others. And if I think I've got too much on in the middle, I'll just wipe it off. Easy as that. So just blend that out, dab it, blend it. That's the way we like it. So again, get it dry. Okay, so that is now dry. So time to bring in my Curiosity Tim Holtz chip. I'm just going to add some ordinary glue to the back. That's the Tombow Mono Liquid, the aqua, the clear one. People are used to seeing the white. And I'm going to drop that Curiosity just there. I'm not particularly bothered if it's not straight, but it's pretty much almost, if not already. And then that wet wipe I used, that's got some of that neo colour still on it. I'm just going to dab it over the top, just to kind of knock back, and you probably can't see it because of the lighting, but it is actually building up a little bit. Let me see if I can bring it up. It's probably too bright. These lights here are far too bright, but trust me, you should be able to see it in the photos at the end. I've taken or knocked back the majority of the white on that. Actually, you can see it just there and up here. In real life, it is darker. There we go. Lovely. Like that. Right, so next thing, I need a fan brush, and I need one of my little paint mats. So I want to do some splatters. Splatters. We all love splatters. Okay, because I've got the reds here in the image, I want to add some more to balance it at this side. So I'm going to take a little dollop, just a tiny amount. Now this is the Dinner Wakeling Media acrylic paint, and it's the fuchsia colour. And I'm going to spritz a little bit of water onto this paint mat. You see the colour, look. So it's kind of a nice, I won't say it's a pink, because it isn't really a pink, and it's not really a purple, but it's also not really a red, but that'll do. So mop that up quick as you like. I'll clean that mat off later once it's dry, and then where I've splattered it onto my craft mat, just quickly get rid. Not that I'm being OCD, it's a fairly new mat and I don't want to ruin it straight away. Okay, so I'm now going to get those splatters dry. Okay, there's one last thing now that my brain is now screaming at me that I've got to do. So, tree branch archivaling, I have an ink blending foam, and I have the bricked or brick wall stencil from TCW. Yeah, my brain was telling me I need some bricks. My brain was telling me I need some bricks. And you've got to listen to your brain. So this is a light brown, so it's going to be subtle, or should be. Now why? There we go. See? Just subtle. And here. It was almost so subtle I couldn't see it. And finally, just to create that visual triangle again, I'm going to put just a couple down here at the bottom. And there you have it. And that, I think, is it. I'm showing remarkable restraint. I'm not going to throw anything else at it. I'm going to stop there. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to sign it and date it at the bottom. And then I'm going to call this Restraint but Curious page complete. So there you go, creative urge satisfied with a little curiosity and a lot of restraint. So I hope you did enjoy that quick art journal page. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and I'm almost at 15,000 subscribers now. I'm about 100 or so away from hitting that milestone. So there are still 40% of you guys that are watching my videos regularly that still haven't subscribed. What's stopping you? Let's see if we can hit that 15,000 by the beginning of June. So just hit that subscribe button and don't forget to also hit the bell icon so that you get notifications every time I upload a new video, because unless you do that, you won't hear from me. My videos will just appear and they won't notify you. So you've got to hit that bell button to make sure that you get notifications that I've uploaded a new video. Anyway, that's all from me for now. I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, without whose generosity and support these videos would not be possible. Thank you.